it's Imogen and welcome back to Colouring Kid. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video I want to share a couple of recent pages that I have completed and also my autumn shortlist, I guess you'd call it, some pages that I would like to do in autumn. Obviously I'm not going to get all of these done, but I thought it would be nice just to share some pictures anyway, and hopefully I get to a few of them by the time I come back from my first term. So over the past couple of weeks in September I was away in Poland, so I didn't actually do any colouring then, but these few pages that I've done have been what I started before going and then what I've done in the last week since being back. So yeah, I really don't have that much to show you to validate needing to do a separate video for it, which is why I've put these two things together. And then yeah, lots of books which have autumn pages in that I'd really like to do, and I'll probably end up doing a winter one hopefully. But yeah, I'm away at Oxford from for the whole of October and November, and then come back at the beginning of December, so I probably won't start colouring Christmas stuff until I get back. But I haven't decided which books I'm taking either, so it will just be dependent on what I'm feeling at that time. I'll probably only end up taking about 5 books to Oxford, and then a couple of sets of pencils and things like that, like I did last time, because I really didn't get around to doing that much. I'm also really sorry, I'm not sure if you can tell, I'm not feeling the best. I had wanted to film this video a couple of days ago and I just was not feeling up to it. So I'm at a place now, illness, where it's mainly just a cough and not so much a cold, but I'm hoping that I still sound fairly normal to what I normally would. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to sharing these with you. So the first thing I have to share with you is actually not a completed page, but it's some artwork that I made recently, which was from Poland, which I'm going to be taking to Oxford. So when we were on the beach I collected loads of shells, and I've never really seen fully formed shells like this before at any of the beaches I've been to, so I really wanted to create some artwork out of them because I'd found so many and I thought they were really pretty. So what I decided to do was just get a really cheap white frame, and then instead of worrying about getting a deep frame, I wanted to just put some white card over the glass because I didn't want the glare anyway, and a deep frame would have cost a lot more money as well, and this is just a really small, perfectly sized one for the amount of shells that I had. And then yeah, I just used some super glue to glue them all on, and I was a bit apprehensive that it wouldn't work, and some of them were really tricky, but overall I did a pretty good job, I think. My idea was to do an ombre sort of effect with the blue ones going into the browny yellow ochre, into the pink, and then the white. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. And I had been inspired by Emily Illustrator. She'd done a painting of some shells which was the same sort of thing, having the ombre, and I thought it looked so cool. And then I thought, oh well, I've got loads of these shells that are so pretty, I'll kind of go for the same look. But yeah, I'm just so chuffed with that, and I can't wait to have it up in my room as a reminder of Poland. We had such an amazing time. We went for 10 days and yeah, it was just so fun, and I cannot wait to go back. And yeah, I'm really grateful that I got to go. But yeah, that's my reminder of Poland, which I'm really pleased with. And then I have done a colouring picture for my boyfriend. I don't think I'll watch this, so it doesn't really matter, but I'm giving this to him when I get back to uni. But originally I wanted to do something for I was going to make a card and do something similar like this for his birthday, but then I figured I have a couple of other ideas for cards I'd maybe like to try and find for him, so I thought I would just do this one anyway. So this is from Die Welt unter der Lupe Zulande, but what I did was I printed it onto some card, but at about, I think it was 60%. So it's really easy to do, and if you ever want to copy pages but make them smaller, I think most printers should do it, because we've got a really average printer that can still do complex things. But I basically just wanted to copy it and then downsize it and resize it so it's 60% of the original size, because I wanted it to be a little bit more smaller and compact compared to the original page. I mean, these pages are fairly small anyway, but just so that it would be a little bit easier for me to be able to complete. And I did this in the evening last night. It was so fun because I wasn't actually using any pencil. It was just I used the Jane Davenport Mineral Eyes pastels, the sparkly ones, for the background, and then I used one blue fine liner just to fill in some, quite a few of them were already blacked out anyway, so that made my life a little bit easier. And then I used a various amount of paints, so most of them were from the Art Spirits, and then I also used a few Jelly Roll gel pens in the clear Stardust and also the metallic gold. I used a really cool Kilero pearlescent as well, the blue one. But yeah, that was about it, I think, but I'm really pleased with it. And then I mounted it on some card, so yeah, I hope he likes it. But that's just a fun thing because he really likes astronomy, so yeah, I'm excited to give that to him. And it was nice just to not do something with pencil for once, and because I always use pencil and I love using pencil, but I also am quite aware that with my other arty projects and things like that, I like to incorporate my paints a lot more. So yeah, this was a really nice opportunity to do that. And oh, I also used white gel pen as well, which I hadn't mentioned, I don't think. But yeah, really nice, fun, simple one that I'm chuffed with. And that's ordinarily a page that I never would have done in the book anyway. Because if I'd tried to do that in the book and, heaven forbid, like gone for a pencil background, that just would take an absolute age. And doing it that way just made it really fun. And it kind of is, I would class that as one of the sort of repeating pattern pages, which Rita doesn't do a lot of now, but you know, some people really enjoy them. They're not my cup of tea, but yeah, it was just a really nice, fun thing to do and colour a page that ordinarily I wouldn't go for. So yeah, that's that one. So just taking a sip of my tea so my throat doesn't go dry. But the main page that I completed, I'm really, really proud of. And this might be one of my, well, not that I've coloured many pages this year anyway, but it's got to be up there as one of my top pages, maybe even my top one that I've done. I completed the right side before I went away to Poland, and then I kept the colour palette, kept all the pencils aside, and then finished it when I came back. So this is the new Seasonal Wreaths of Plants and Friends book by Mikiko Anatome, the same illustrator that did the Yururi mouse book. And this was the double spread that I did. So my idea for this is that when there is a double spread like this, I will try and colour them both at the same time and use the colour palette. If I can't colour them at the same time, then I'll just keep it to one side and eventually do it. But I started with this one because this was the main wreath, and then this has all of the extra bits. But I mean, some of them don't have a double spread. Some of them have two wreaths on one spread like that. So yeah, this just happened to be the one that I picked. It was a double spread, but I am so chuffed with this. I use Holbein pencils. For any of you that want the colour combos, I don't really do my colour combo videos anymore because I hardly colour any pages, but these were my colour combos and Holbeins. I used a couple of fine liners, a few Faber-Castell pencils as well here and there. And then this was the overall colour palette, which I had picked and decided on before I started colouring, so I didn't end up using every single one of these colours. But yeah, I'm so chuffed with it. So as I said, this was all Holbein. The background was the first thing I did, and it took quite a long time, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I wanted to try and make this as cohesive as possible, despite the fact that I was using primary colours. Now, I was colouring this page when I was watching Connie from Colouring Chemist. She was doing this video talking about why certain colour combinations on pages work and why some don't, in her opinion, and kind of giving tips on how to approach colour palettes if you're a beginner colourist. Now, I love hearing other people's perspectives about this topic, even if I'm not really new to colouring anymore. And I was colouring this page, I was like, oh, this is so interesting, because this is probably the first time on a page where I have been brave enough to use the primary colours, being red, yellow, blue, in one page as kind of the main elements, because I knew I wanted the tent to be red, so obviously I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to use some red here, but then I thought, well, it's going to be yellow in it at some point, but I'll make it a bit more of a goldy yellow, but do the brighter yellow for the middles of the flowers. And then of course the blue, which isn't very, very bright for the background, but it's a little bit brighter for some of the other elements. So yeah, it was just really intriguing that this is kind of a palette that I would never do. I've managed to, I feel, make it cohesive because of the extra elements, but ordinarily approaching a page like I did with this and doing all of the red, yellow, blue first and then doing the brown and the grey, I just didn't know if it would work because I hadn't added any of the green or the pink in. And yeah, it just felt really, really strange actually getting out of my comfort zone a bit with this. And so I emailed Connie yesterday and I said how much I've been enjoying her videos, and also just sending her a picture of my of this page and saying what do you think. I never really used primary colours and I'm actually really happy with how it's turned out. And she pointed out quite rightly that I have used the primary colours, but they're not actually the full bright versions of them, which is why it's more cohesive. And she was saying how it's actually something that she forgot to mention in her video. So basically for this I've used the primary colours, but a dulled down, more muted version of them. So the ochre yellow, the more mahogany, darker red, and then the darker blue as well, which isn't quite as bold. So yeah, I just really enjoyed doing it, and I would really recommend watching that video even if you're not a beginner, because she posted some really interesting thoughts about this topic, and it's one of my favourites and one that I am continuously asking myself about colour combinations as well, because that's the main thing for me when I start a page. I always try to think of the colour palette before I get started, otherwise I just have nowhere to go with it, and I colour one element and think, yeah, but how is this going to look overall when the page is done? So I always try to have an idea in my head, and maybe it's because I've got that creative side of my brain with doing music as well. I don't know whether it kind of comes into play a bit, luckily, because the reason I mainly choose to colour a page is because I see it and I think, oh yeah, I've got a couple of thoughts about the colours from looking at the picture, and that's what gives me the inspiration and the drive to do it. Whereas I would find it really hard approaching a page that I wasn't really inspired to do, and not being inspired to do it is normally down to not having a colour palette in mind. So yeah, it's just a really, really thought-provoking page and what I was thinking about when I was colouring this. So I loved it. I absolutely loved it. All I use for these pages to embellish is white gel pen. I kind of just let the pencil speak for itself and just use white gel pen for accents and things like that. As much as I think glitter would enhance it as well, I just tend to leave them as they are. But I just love this, and I can't wait to do more pages in this book, and I'm even more excited to do so now that I've done my first page that I'm so chuffed with. I didn't ever consider this page really as being one of my first to do, but I'm really glad I went for it. Yeah, very, very happy. Sorry, I know I rambled with these, but I just really appreciated Connie's video and her thoughts on my picture. But yeah, thank you, Connie. It was really, really fascinating. So then I have a whip. And this is the final thing that I've been working on, which I have just started today. I have finally started a picture in Mona Reza Africa, which has been on my list to colour for so long. Rita Berman so kindly sent it to me when it was released, and because of uni and the crazy year that I had, I didn't get round to it, and then I just felt like it wasn't quite the right time to do it when it wasn't summer, because this does give me a very summery vibe, this book, and so I thought I would try and start and finish a picture before I go to uni that kind of rounds off summer, but it's not, I mean, this one that I've chosen luckily isn't too summery compared to some of the other ones, but yeah, I am very much enjoying it so far, and I'm just so pleased that I got round to this because it's a gorgeous, gorgeous book. I wanted to start with something that wouldn't be too intimidating, because some of these pages are very, very detailed, and yeah, I just wanted to start something that would ease me in a bit to to the book. So this is what I have done so far. I've coloured the Dragonfly. I haven't fully finished the Dragonfly. I'm going to be adding embellishments, probably with fine liner. I will use some gold and clear sparkly paint probably, and some white gel pen and all of that sort of stuff, but I'll do that at the end. So I've put all of the pencils that I'm planning on using on this Dragonfly. So for this colour palette, for this page, I was inspired by a Pinterest colour palette that I'd seen based on the Dragonfly, and I found an illustration that I wanted to try and replicate, and I would never normally colour one like this, and when I started I was like, well, is this going to work? But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. So I'm going to be doing the pyramids in the sandy ochre colour, the sun obviously yellow, and then my idea is similar to what I did for the turtle in the Small Victories book. I'm going to do a light background, but just sort of place blotches of different colours everywhere, and just do it very abstractly and not do a full background. I'm not going to add a border in or anything because I don't think it really needs it. You've already got the bordered off bits of the pyramids. So yeah, I think I'm just going to do it very, very lightly and see how it goes with pencil, and just then blend it together. But for example, this is going to be a purple flower, so I'll just do light bits of purple around it. Haven't figured out what these are going to be yet, but I'll do a bit of green, and yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing it, and hopefully it won't take me too long. There's also another page that I'd really like to get started at least before I leave. I've got a week and a half until I go. So it'd be nice if I could get this done in a few days. I really don't think it's going to take that long because I'm using a very limited colour palette. So yeah, that's the one I've started. Can't wait to finish it. And that's all with Black Widow pencils, that one. So I've already picked my colours out, kept them to one side, and that's a really easy way of just trying to keep myself limited to those colours. And then obviously if I want to add others I can as well, but that's the main idea for that one. The other page that I definitely want to get around to is from Animaux de Bois by Paul Brune. I've had a newfound interest in wanting to colour in this book again, which is really nice. Sometimes that happens with me. I'm like, oh, I haven't worked on that for a while. I would love to get back to it, and because her work reminds me so much of Leila Duly, I think that's why I'm also drawn to it. I'm really eyeing up the third book, the Forme Fragile one. The second one, the Amazon one, isn't really my thing. Maybe I'll look at the flip through again. I love the style of the artwork. It's just I tend to go for more woodland scenes versus tropical scenes, personally, just for me. And so this book fits the bill perfectly. But I'll have another look at it. But the third book I would love to get at some point. So the page that I've got my eye on is this one with the beautiful deer, and the paper in itself, I mean, it's just gorgeous, and that makes me want to work in it even more. But yeah, I have some sort of idea of what I would do with this. Obviously, I'll try to make the deer as realistic as possible. I'll probably have an autumnal sunset sort of background, a lot of green, a lot of brown. What I would like to do though, similar to how I coloured my first page, I've only done one page in here so far. Let's see if I can find it. This was from a while ago. This was last year, maybe in May or June, and I used washi tape for all of the flowers, and then went over with fine liner and white gel pen accents. So I think I would like to do a similar thing with the mushrooms. Maybe not the same washi tape, maybe the same one, but I think for all of these mushrooms I would really like to do the same thing if I can. There are going to be some really fiddly bits, but I think it would definitely be worth it, and something really nice to add, because the paper's so thick. I'm not so worried about it cutting through the paper. I did have a couple of close calls with the first page that I did, but I figured because these pages are so detailed, it would be nice to just have a few like accents just popping out. So that's what I'm considering doing for the accents throughout this book, rather than using glitter gel pen or paint. I'll just use white gel pen and the washi tapes. So I'm really looking forward to doing this, and I'm really excited to work in this book again, and this is getting me really, really hyped up to do it. So this is the one that I have in mind. I did have a few others which I really liked, which I will show you as well, but I doubt I'll get around to them this would be an easier, more approachable one, but I've kind of done one already and I'd love to actually dip into doing a scene. Where was the other one? I did love this as well. And oh yeah, this one as well was gorgeous. But that might be for another day. I don't think I'll be able to do this one and the deer, but they are just stunning pages, and the marabou paper is gorgeous. If you find any books that you like the look of, see if there's a French version and you can get it on the marabou paper, because it is amazing. And I really regret not waiting and getting some other books in the French editions. I probably would have got Small Victories in the French edition if I thought about it, because it just is absolutely amazing. But yeah, that's that book. Then we have Small Victories. So I think some of these pages are probably shown before in my last video when I was coming back and just introducing a couple of pages again, because I hadn't done a YouTube video for a long time. But I've tried to be a bit more decisive about some of them, and hopefully I'm not repeating myself too much. But yeah, I've got a couple of pages in mind for this book. Hopefully I can get around to at least one of them when I'm at uni, because these are small pages. I really like this feather one, but equally I also love these birds, and I want to do one as a robin and one as a blue tit, and I think if I left it a little bit longer for Christmas that would be perfect because of the robin. But then there's the winter wreath in here that I'd really like to do as well. This is actually going to be a buddy colour with the lovely Kira from A Picture of Purpose. We're going to be doing this in November, and I might need to start it a little bit early just so that whilst I'm at uni I can actually finish it. But I have sort of a starting point, I think, for this. I'd like to make these flowers really light pink, almost as if they're strawberry flowers, and I do want that woodland feel, not necessarily autumnal, but definitely more of a woodland feel because of the images on this side. But yeah, it should fit in really well with my autumn colouring, so I'm excited to do that one. And then the other one is the autumn wreath. So I finished the summer wreath last month, so it'd be really nice to do this one if I can, and that definitely will have autumnal colours. And it probably would take a bit longer than some other pages in this book, but once I've got a colour palette it shouldn't take too long. But obviously I'm prioritising the buddy colour, so hopefully I can get that one done. And I apologise, Kira, in advance. It was a little bit later than November that I get it finished. Then we have Yurori's Journey sketch. Now obviously I have just coloured in the wreath book. I would love to do another page in either this or the wreath book over the Halloween autumn period. If I can't, I can't, but colouring in that book again has really made me want to come back to this one. And I had a point last year where I was looking at these pages thinking, oh, I could have done so much better with a few of them. I still think this one could have been better. The actual inner section could have been a little bit better, but I think that's just down to the colour palette that I chose for the spring section, if I'm honest. I haven't done any still in the summer or any in the autumn, and I've done the winter one. So I'd love to do one in the autumn one, and I kept saying I was going to do one of the summer ones. I just didn't get around to it. But I had a few pages in mind, and if I end up doing one in this or the wreath book, I'll be happy. So it doesn't really matter to me which one. This one does have slightly better paper. I use Holbein in both, so we'll see. But we have this one that I really love, and that's a sort of a wreath design as well, which is really pretty. There's more of an open background though compared to the wreath, so it might be a bit more of a challenge. And then I love this double spread. I wouldn't get around to doing both of them, but I love these. The thing is with this, I just don't want to start one at Oxford and not finish it, because I know that's probably likely. And I don't want to start a page that I like so much and then not get it finished. So maybe this would be a bit ambitious to be able to do, but we'll see. There are some pages that I had in mind. So then we have Leila Duly's books, of course. Now Beautiful Planet doesn't have as many autumnal pages as Walk in the Woods, so I probably won't get to this one. But there are a couple in here which I love. I had my eye on this one last year, but I didn't get around to it. I'd love to do an autumnal page from Leila, but I will prioritise the Anime de Bois page first and then maybe start something in here. This is my ongoing whip, which I don't think I'll be coming back to at the moment. I have all the colours and I'll be taking my Holbeins to Oxford, but I don't think I will prioritise this one now because it's not really autumnal, it's more spring, summer. And then these, unfortunately I didn't get around to. These were going to be inspired by Switzerland. I'd love to do them at some point, but again, I'll probably prioritise my autumnal pages first. But then there were a couple that I really liked in Walk in the Woods. This little guy, oh, sorry, I just shut the camera, in This Book Belongs To, is gorgeous. Really like it. And it wouldn't take me too long either. I'm always a bit intimidated to colour hedgehogs though, because they seem like they'd be so difficult to do. And I'd really like to tackle one. I love this double spread. This would be a labour of love page, but I think if I got my colour palette down for it, it wouldn't take me that long. And I know I say that, it probably would. But this versus the Halloween page in the Wild Mouse Ruri, that's got a lot of different elements on it. This, it's really only got the flowers, the leaves, the branches and the berries. So if I got my colours figured out, and I've seen some beautiful inspiration photos as well that Leila's been sharing, then I don't think it would be that intimidating. I mean, I could just colour this one, obviously, and it's a lot smaller, a lot more approachable. But I think as a double spread, they would just look so gorgeous together. So that's one I had in mind. And then I also do like these ones as well. But I think I like these mushrooms even more. And I just think I'm not going to be able to get to them. But I love them. I love them. I just think the composition of these pages is stunning. And I will get to them at some point. But maybe just not this year. But yeah, I just love her illustrations and I'd really like to get to them. Then we're kind of moving on to the books now that I don't think I will be getting to, purely because I'm not going to be taking this many books to uni anyway. But these are just some ideas that I had if I had time, but I don't think I will, because we're nearing the amount of time that I will actually have to chill. I'm working this week and then I've got a few days to pack before I go back. So this is Mein Herbstspaziergang by Rita Berman. I've always said that this is one of my favourites and I really do love it, and I would like to get to that at some point. These are just some kind of favourite pages in this book. Again, really like that one. I can't remember if I've shown these before, but I just love mushrooms. I love colouring them. This wave page, I've done the summer and autumn ones in her other books, and then we've got this one and the spring one to do. And again, I don't think that this will be one that I will get to, but it's a really, really lovely one. And this double spread, again, I don't think I will get to, but again, a lot of mushrooms, which I love. And I've really been enjoying getting back into my Rita Berman because just because of how busy I've been, I just haven't had time to get to all of my books. But you know how much I love her illustrations, they're gorgeous. And this was the other idea I had for a colouring that I was going to do for my boyfriend, but I don't think I will end up doing this one now that I've done the star one. But I had also printed out the turtle. So I'll keep this, obviously it's on nice card and I probably will get to it at some point. But yeah, Die Welt unter der Lupe obviously isn't autumnal, but I wanted to just have it there just in case. I was inspired to do it at some point, but now that I had a bit of time yesterday to knuckle down and do the stars, I think I will be alright with that for now. Then we have Karolina Kupikowska and her memories postcards. Now I had shown some of the summer ones that I wanted to get to, I think. I'm not sure if I will take these yet to Oxford, but I had a few that I really liked. This bear was one of them. I can't remember if I tagged anymore. Oh yeah, I liked this cat one, which would be more of a Halloween sort of picture for me, and then we're into the winter. So they were a few that that had caught my eye. The only thing I'm wary of with these is that I don't want them all to have the same sort of colour palette, because the one that I did was quite dark, had a dark blue background, and I'd like to try and do some different backgrounds rather than just doing them all blue for the night sky. That cat one would definitely have a blue background because I think it gives off that vibe with it being Halloween and all, but the bear one I'd probably try and think of something different to do. But yeah, if I don't get to one of these for autumn, then perhaps winter, but they are gorgeous. Again, same thing with I Believe in Fairies. I'd really love to get back to these postcards. Sorry, I keep shaking the camera. I haven't done one for ages. This was last year. You can just tell how busy I've been, can't you? The picture that I'd like to do is leaning more towards Christmas. It's still got mushrooms and things, and it doesn't have snow. It has wood, which is nice because a lot of the Christmas ones have snow, which I'd probably leave. But I'm more drawn to this one because it's a little less complex than some of the other autumnal ones. That one is quite cute as well. But this one I might leave until I come back from Oxford. This is the one that I have my eye on. Again, I'd quite like to try and not do a blue background. But having said that, I don't think I've done one in a while, so it wouldn't be bad if I did one. That might be quite nice. But yeah, that's that. And then the final book I have, which I know I'm not going to get to, but I wanted to change my pages because for so long I'd had the flamingo page tagged and a house page, and they are definitely more summer. So I had a few picked out for the autumn season now, but again, I think it's highly unlikely that I will get to these, and I would prefer to work on a postcard. I had this one, the cute squirrel. The only thing with this is I'm envisaging that there's going to be a lot of brown. And I have to say, as much as I think brown is great because it gives a neutral colour to the page and it makes your colour palette more cohesive, I don't really enjoy colouring it that much. And I think that there's just quite a lot. By the time we've done these acorn sorts of things, and the tree, and doing a reddish brown squirrel, at least that's what I'd do, or grey, I'm not sure yet. There's just, yeah, quite a lot. So in terms of colour palette, I don't think that one would appeal to me quite as much. And then there was this one, which again probably is meant to be in the Christmas section, or the beginning of the Christmas section, I don't know, maybe not. But this one looked really cosy and could be autumnal. So again, it's got the mushrooms, not too much brown in this one, but yeah, I think it is a really good neutral colour. But I have done a few pages before where there's a lot of it, and so for example, this first page that I did in here, I did all of the brown and the grey first, and I was looking at the page, I was like, oh my gosh, there's a lot. And then when I started adding all the colourful elements, it's absolutely fine. But yeah, just I quite like to just get them out of the way first. But yeah, I'm really happy with this page. I just need to get back to this book. But yeah, it's gorgeous, but I really don't think I will. And as I said, I'll only be taking 5 or so books with me, maybe a couple more if they're small, to uni, but I'm just not going to get around to them, so there's no point me taking that many. I just like having a little bit of choice. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. You can probably tell from this and the last one that I am tending to go for the same sorts of books and condensing my style, I guess, that I'm leaning towards when I'm colouring. And that's purely because if I end up working in the same artist's books over and over again, it's because they are the ones that I'm drawn to, and when I don't have that much time, I want to focus on the things that I really am feeling. So yeah, I've got some lovely projects that I can't wait to work on, especially the Anima Dubois book. I am absolutely ecstatic that I've got the drive back to work in this, because it's beautiful. And yeah, I'm really enjoying my Rita Berman page at the moment. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and as always, feel free to comment down below, or if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Everything will be in the description as usual. But yeah, it's so great to be back. I don't know if I'll get another video out before I go back to Oxford, but I'll try and record one so it goes up when I'm at Oxford. That would be really great. But yeah, just thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here, and I can't believe the reception that I got from my last video, seeing as I haven't been on YouTube for 8 months, so it really meant a lot. Thank you. And yeah, I'll see you all in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.